What's the worst thing your kid's school ever did? My daughter Ava came home from school one day and said something that made my blood run cold. Mom, the bathroom door got stuck again today during the fire drill. I'd always told Ava the same thing since kindergarten. If there's ever an emergency at school, follow your teacher. Do what they say, stay with the group. Simple rules that should keep any kid safe. But nobody prepared us for what happened that Friday in October. It started like any other fire drill. The bells rang at 2:15 p.m., right during math class. Kids lined up, teachers grabbed their clipboards, and everyone marched outside to the parking lot. Standard procedure they'd done 100 times before. Except Ava was in the bathroom when the alarm went off. She tried to open the door to get back to her classroom, but it wouldn't budge. The handle turned, but the door stayed shut tight. This wasn't the first time either. Kids had been complaining about that bathroom door getting stuck for months. Parents had mentioned it at pickup. Teachers knew about it too, but nobody ever fixed it. Ava banged on the door as hard as she could. She yelled for help until her throat hurt, but the hallways were empty now. Everyone was outside doing their drill practice. Her teacher didn't notice she was missing from the line. No head count, no double checking. 5 minutes passed, then 10. That's when Ava smelled something weird. Smoke was starting to fill the hallway outside the bathroom. This wasn't a drill anymore. An actual fire had started in the science lab down the hall. Some chemical experiment had gone wrong and now there was real danger. Ava was trapped, and nobody knew she was there. She kept pounding on the door, screaming louder now. The smoke was getting thicker. She could see it coming under the door crack. Her chest started to hurt from breathing it in. Finally, after what felt like forever, she heard footsteps. The janitor was walking down the hall, checking that all the rooms were empty before the fire department arrived. He heard Ava's screams just in time. He threw his whole body against that bathroom door 3 times before it finally popped open. Ava tumbled out, coughing and crying. He picked her up and ran toward the exit, both of them breathing in way too much smoke. The paramedics checked her out in the ambulance. She was okay, just shaken up and her throat was sore, but she could have died in there. When I got to the school, they called it a small incident. The principal said Ava was never in real danger, just a minor mishap with an old door that sometimes sticks. I was furious. This wasn't some old door that sometimes sticks. This was a safety hazard that could have killed my daughter, and they'd known about it for months. I started digging. I requested copies of all the maintenance reports and parent complaints from the past year. What I found made me sick. 17 different parents had emailed about broken doors in the school. 5 had specifically mentioned the bathroom door that trapped Ava. 3 had complained about fire alarms that didn't work properly. 2 had reported missing fire extinguishers in the hallways. Every single report had been filed away and ignored. The next school board meeting was packed. I stood up during public comment time and told the whole story. I brought photos of the broken door, copies of all those ignored complaints, and Ava's medical report from the smoke inhalation. A local news reporter was there covering budget issues. She heard my story and asked to interview me afterward. The next morning, our story was on the front page of the newspaper and the evening news. The district finally did a full safety inspection. They found 12 more broken doors throughout the school, 4 fire alarms that hadn't worked in over a year, missing fire extinguishers, emergency exits blocked by storage boxes. It took almost losing a child to make them care about keeping kids safe. The broken bathroom door got fixed the next day. So did all the others. New fire alarms were installed within a week. The principal had to send a letter home to every parent explaining what had happened and what they were doing to fix it. But all I could think about was one thing. What if that janitor hadn't decided to walk down that hallway? My daughter would have been alone in that smoke-filled bathroom, with no way out and nobody looking for her.